Extremely severe cyclonic storm Umphan weakens into an extremely severe cyclonic storm, moving north-northeastwards over the Bay of Bengal and cross West Bengal Bangladesh coast between Digha and Hatia Islands this afternoon. Coastal districts of Odisha and West Bengal brace up for the cyclone. More than 50 lakh people are being evacuated to safer places. To prepare for the cyclone and mitigate its impact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday reviewed measures. Union Home Minister Amit Shah assures all help to Chief Ministers of West Bengal and Odisha. Cabinet Secretary takes stock of the situation. "41 NDRF teams deployed in both the states. Rescue and relief teams of Army, Navy and Air Force ready for any emergency. Energy and Telecom Department also gear up to deal with impact of the super cyclone. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says it is a matter of pride that number of Ayushman Bharat beneficiaries has crossed 1 crore. Prime Minister congratulates all the beneficiaries and appreciates our doctors, nurses, healthcare workers and all others associated with Ayushman Bharat. In a major relief to migrants across the country, number of Shramik trains have been doubled. Railway says efforts are being made to help migrants board the railway station head on the main line close to their location. Railways also announces 200 non-AC special passenger trains from 1st of June. Many activities make a slow and steady comeback as nationwide restrictions ease in phase 4 of the lockdown. Buses and autos have started running in Delhi. Markets reopened under odd-even scheme. Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Kerala and other states allow easing of conditions. Recovery rate of COVID-19 cases in India increases to 38.73%. Active cases stand at 58,802. Death toll now stands at 3,163. Per million deaths in India as compared to other countries is much less. Total number of COVID-19 cases in the world crossed 48,29,000, more than 3,19,000 deaths. Brazil now ahead of Italy and Spain in the total COVID-19 cases. WHO states agree to independent probe of COVID-19 response. Hello, you're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. The extremely severe cyclonic storm Umphan is moving north-northeastwards across northwest Bay of Bengal. It will cross West Bengal, Bangladesh coasts between Digha in West Bengal and Hatia Islands in Bangladesh, close to Sundarbans during afternoon to evening hours today. Now, according to the IMD, it will cross with maximum sustained wind speed of 155 to 165 kilometers per hour, gusting to 185 kilometers per hour. Today, rainfall will occur in most places in the districts of Gangetic, West Bengal, with heavy to a hefty downpour at a few places in Kolkata, Howrah, East Midnapur, North and South 24 Parganas and Hooghly districts. The Met Department has thus advised all establishments and markets to remain closed in the city and adjoining areas, and restriction has been put in place on movement of people today. Over 50 lakh people are being evacuated to safer places. Fishermen have been advised not to venture into the sea. 41 NDRF teams have been deployed in both the states. Rescue and relief teams of Army, Navy and Air Force are ready for any emergency. Energy and Telecom Department have also geared up to deal with the impact of the super cyclone. Meanwhile, Home Minister Amit Shah yesterday spoke to Chief Ministers of West Bengal and Odisha in view of the cyclone. Amit Shah reviewed the preparedness and offered all requisite help. The Home Minister reiterated that central government is ready to provide any support to both the affected states to deal with the situation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took stock of the situation and reviewed the preparedness against Cyclone Umphan on Monday itself. National Crisis Management Committee under Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba had also reviewed the preparedness of states and central ministries and the agencies to deal with the cyclonic storm Umphan. Odisha Special Relief Commissioner P.K. Jaina has said that more than 1 lakh people have been evacuated and the process is still on. He added that the next 4 to 5 hours remain very crucial.
There is no other information regarding damages observed as of now. So as the cyclone moves, next 6 to 8 hours is very crucial for Odisha and we are observing it. At this stage, I am not going to talk about the preparations because anyway, all our preparations now will be for the restoration purpose. But in the meanwhile, we have evacuated about little more than 1,37,000 people, and still evacuation is going on in certain pockets of Baleswar and Mayurbhanj district where people are coming. So next maybe 1-2 hours, this evacuation, so much evacuation would continue. So otherwise, in our shelters, we have tried to maintain social distance to the extent possible.
Our correspondent Tapas gives us a fresh update by the Indian Met Department. Tapas, we've told our viewers that the cyclonic storm has weakened into extremely severe cyclonic storm. All right, we'll get in touch with Tapas in a while from now. I think we've not been able to establish contact there with Tapas. We'll go across to our correspondent Anibrato Bhattacharya, who's joining us with more inputs from Kolkata. Anibrato, we'll talk of the level of severity. What has been the word of the IMD on this? Because we tell our viewers that the cyclone has now weakened into an extremely severe cyclonic storm. Anibrato, if you can hear me, let us know what does it mean. Anibrato, if I'm audible to you, let us know the severity of the cyclone Umphan, and we've told our viewers that it has weakened into extremely severe cyclonic storm. What does it mean? I think we've not been able to establish contact there with our correspondent Anibrato. We'll try getting back to him again to get more details and updates. From here, we go across to our correspondent Rizwana Akhtar, who's joining us from Odisha. Rizwana, when we talk of the current status of the cyclone, we tell our viewers that the extremely severe cyclone Umphan is moving northeastwards across northwest Bay of Bengal. You let us know what is the current status of the cyclone and what does it mean the cyclone to have the extremely severe cyclone condition. Let us know more about the severity of the cyclone at present.
Yes, Preeti, managing a severe cyclonic storm during a pandemic is a challenging task indeed. But the state government has geared up all its resources to meet both these problems at one go. Right now, the storm has crossed parts of Jagatsinghpur and Paradip area where the rainfall has been highest and the wind speed has gone up to over 110 kilometers. The other affected district is Kendrapada. After this, it is expected to move towards Balasore and Bhadrak, and after which it will be leaving the Odisha coast and proceeding towards Digha. So, and in all these districts, heavy wind and strong wind and heavy rains has been noticed since morning. And it is expected that till 6 p.m. this heavy rain and wind will continue. Hence, people living in all vulnerable areas, in low-lying areas and in thatched and kacha houses have been asked to evacuate. Even now, patrolling by NDRF and ODRF is continuing. People are being asked to move to safer places. Where possible, police is state administration is taking the help of police to evacuate these people. In all the cyclonic shelters, maintaining social distance at the time of COVID-19 is a daunting task. But medical screening is being given there, as well as all the centers have been equipped with masks and sanitizers and people are being made aware that the keeping themselves safe from cyclone and COVID-19 is the priority at this time.
All right, Rizwana, now this is not for the first time that Odisha is facing a calamity. Last year also we saw it, the state brace the conditions against Cyclone Fani. Also, just a while back we played the soundbite of Odisha Relief, Special Relief Commissioner P.K. Jaina, who said that now the focus is on restoration. Let us know more as to what preparations have been put in place when we talk of the day when it progresses today.
There is a standard operating procedure in these times where right now they are waiting for the worst to get over. But what is expected that most the damage will be to trees, which means road communication will be cut off, and mobile towers and electricity poles will be disrupted. Already in all the blocks, they have sent electricity poles. All the cyclonic shelters have been equipped with diesel generators, and medical supplies and food, dry food has been provided in all the cyclonic shelters. So people so that people's misery is not compounded by cyclone. So as the SRC said, there are 140,000 people have been evacuated since late last night. In many places in Bhadrak and Mayurbhanj and Balasore, where the wind speed is gradually taking a stronger note, people have been coming off their own also. What the government is waiting now to see that after the cyclonic storm, the wind and the rain stop, they will start the restoration and rescue operation. Hopefully there won't be much of casualty. They're expecting that there will be a zero casualty this time. But after that, the road communication and electricity power supply will be the priority areas for restoration.
All right, Rizwana, also when we talk of the evacuation and the rescue operations which you're talking of, you tell us that more than 1 lakh people have been evacuated. Also in these times, it is very important and it is mandatory to adhere to the norms of social distancing. How tough is it for the state administration when we talk of evacuation of the citizens to ensure their safety, at the same time sticking and adhering to the norms of social distancing?
It was a challenging task actually for the NDRF and ODRAF personnel to rescue people from low-lying areas, while maintaining social distance. But this was at the uppermost in their minds because it is necessary to maintain social distance as well. Also, the state administration, district administration this time realized that many people were unwilling to move to the cyclone shelters because of COVID-19. But when they were informed that all the cyclonic shelters will not be crowded, that they will maintain social distance and they have adequate masks, adequate sanitizers, and that every person over there will be screened. That was the reason why many people were cajoled into moving from their houses into safer places.
All right, Rizwana, thank you so much for joining us with those inputs. That was our correspondent, Rizwana, telling us more about the preparations which have been put in place by the administration to face the consequences of the landfall which Cyclone Amphan is expected to make today late afternoon. We'll keep you updated as the day progresses and we'll get you the latest on that as well. Let's get you other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated all Ayushman Bharat beneficiaries and their families as the number of Ayushman Bharat beneficiaries has crossed 1 crore. Prime Minister in a tweet said, and I quote him, "It would make every Indian proud that the number of Ayushman Bharat beneficiaries has crossed 1 crore. In less than 2 years, this initiative has had a positive impact on so many lives. I congratulate all the beneficiaries and their families. I also pray for their good health." Prime Minister further tweeted saying, "I appreciate our doctors, nurses, healthcare workers and all others associated with Ayushman Bharat. Their efforts have made it the largest healthcare program in the world. This initiative has won the trust of several Indians, especially the poor and downtrodden. One of the biggest benefits of Ayushman Bharat is portability. Beneficiaries can get top quality and affordable medical care not only where they registered, but also in other parts of the country. This helps those who work away from home or registered at a place where they do not belong to." Indian Railways has planned to double the number of Shramik trains to bring more relief to the migrants. Union Railways Minister Piyush Goyal said that within the next 2 days, Indian Railways will double the number of Shramik special trains to 400 per day. He urged all the migrants are requested to stay where they are. Indian Railways will get them back home over the next few days. Railways has asked the state governments to identify and locate these migrants who are walking on the roads to go to their home states and transport them to the nearest mainline railway station after doing their registration at the nearest district headquarters, and give a list of these travellers to the railway authorities so that arrangements can be made for their further travel through Shramik specials. More than 21.5 lakh migrants have been transported to their home states through Shramik special trains in 19 days and operated more than 1,600 Shramik special trains till 19th of May. Meanwhile, first Shramik special train bound for Chhatarpur station in Madhya Pradesh left from Katra railway station yesterday. Around 1,286 migrant workers are boarding the train. Shramik Express, carrying 1,188 stranded persons of Chhattisgarh, left from Goa's Karmali railway station for Bilaspur yesterday evening. Besides these, Western Railways has also operated 582 Shramik special trains since May 2nd, carrying over 8.31 lakh passengers to their desired destinations. Yesterday, 5 trains were operated, including those for Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and Madhya Pradesh. Railways are proving to be the best help to the workers and common people during the corona pandemic. And in addition to these special Shramik trains, Indian Railways announced that it will run 200 non-AC trains daily from 1st of June. In a series of tweets yesterday, the Railways Minister said that online booking will start soon. These trains will run in addition to the Shramik special trains. Also, the routes and schedule of these trains will be intimated soon. No tickets will be sold at any railway station, and prospective travellers should not come to the railway station to book the tickets or to buy the tickets. Efforts will be made such that they will be able to board the trains from railway station head-on mainline, which is close to their existing location. And stranded Indians continue to fly back to the comfort of their homeland through the Vande Bharat mission. The latest being a flight from London which arrived in Vijayawada today morning. 140 passengers returned home in the special flight. 2 special flights with NRIs reached Cochin International Airport yesterday night. Air India flight from Dammam arrived at the international airport at 8:30 p.m. and the Air India Express flight from Kuala Lumpur reached the airport at 10:15 p.m. A total of 143 persons from Dammam and 178 from Kuala Lumpur, including a child, returned to their native place. AI-1906 Riyadh-Calicut flight has landed with 152 passengers, 4 passengers each from Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, 1 from West Bengal, while the rest from different districts of Kerala were on board the flight. 53 pregnant women were among the passengers, 19 children under the age of 10 and 5 senior citizens above the age of 65 were also among the passengers. 2 passengers were admitted to the hospital due to health emergency, among whom 1 had exhibited symptoms of COVID-19. A total of 374 passengers from Kuwait and Doha arrived at Kannur International Airport as part of the Vande Bharat mission. The Air India Express flight from Kuwait, which arrived at 9:15 p.m. last night, had 188 passengers, including 10 children. A total of 186 passengers, including 9 children, arrived from Doha at 12:32 a.m. Along with the passengers from various districts in Kerala, a Chennai resident had also come to Kannur. More than 170 passengers also flew back on the special flight from Abu Dhabi to Visakhapatnam. A special flight from Bahrain with 174 passengers also landed in Hyderabad. And today, some flights are expected to arrive as well. Air India Express will arrive from Dubai at 6:25 p.m. and Air India Express from Manila will arrive at 11:45 p.m. Let's get you an update on the COVID-19 cases in the country. 2,350 COVID-19 patients have recovered and have been cured in the last 24 hours. Recovery rate is improving continuously and currently it stands at 38.73% among the COVID-19 patients. India currently has 58,802 active cases, and of these, only 2.9% are in the ICU. India has about 0.2 deaths per lakh population, and 24 lakh samples have been tested so far. And on your screens, we have the current situation in the country related to COVID-19 pandemic. Here we have the total active cases, 61,149. And just a while back, we got you the details. And here we have 42,297 cases have been discharged, and they have made recoveries. And also there are 3,303 deaths which have been reported so far. Of the total cases, we are also emphasizing on 42,297 recoveries which have been made. And remember, the recoveries can be made only when the people are aware and they are taking care of themselves, following the norms of social distancing, self-isolation, and also maintaining personal hygiene, washing their hands regularly, keeping safe distance, and more than that, staying at home, even though some relaxations have been put forth in lockdown 4, but still, to keep yourself safe, you have to be careful and you have to take the precautions. And the nationwide lockdown has been extended till 31st of May, but in its fourth iteration, the lockdown has come with several restrictions being eased. The Delhi, that is the national capital Delhi, saw the return of public transport and some of the traffic that it's infamous for during office hours. Up next in the report, we get you an update on how life and livelihood are picking up pace in other parts of the country as well. Take a look.
Lockdown 4 is substantially different from earlier stages in the manner that the contours are changed and many decisions about the nuances have been left for the states to fathom and act upon. Many places are now literally bustling with increased activity. In Delhi, DTC and cluster buses resumed operation on the city roads from Tuesday after nearly 2 months with distancing norms in place.
सरकार का फैसला बहुत बढ़िया, वेल एंड गुड है। इससे क्या है कि कोरोना में किसी को दिक्कत नहीं होगी और अपना देश भी बचेगा इससे।
The Delhi government also allowed autos, taxis, cabs and other last-mile connectivity vehicles with limited number of passengers to maintain social distancing. The cab drivers have been instructed to disinfect passenger seat after each drop-off. Carpooling was not allowed for cab aggregator and only 2 passengers were allowed in a cab.
पन्नी लगाना हमारे केंद्र और राज्य सरकार का निर्देश था। पन्नी लगाने से सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग बनती है। इससे हमारे परिवार, हमारे बच्चे, हमारे आस पड़ोस और हमारी सवारियों के लिए ये सुरक्षित है। खुद भी सेफ और गाड़ी भी सेफ, सवारी सेफ, पूरा परिवार सेफ।
Many markets in Delhi also opened for customers. However, markets in congested areas like Chandni Chowk and Sadar Bazaar remained closed. Tea shops were also open after a long gap. Public transport also started in many places in Karnataka on Tuesday. IT companies also resumed operations with minimum required staff. In Gujarat too, people returned to the markets after a long time as many restrictions were eased slowly. Social distancing norms were also followed. The lockdown rules and guidelines were eased in Kerala too, as state government allowed limited activity in phase 4 of the lockdown. In Assam also, people were seen in the markets as the rules eased and many establishments were allowed to resume operations. Auto rickshaws and cabs began plying on the streets of Hyderabad after the rules were eased in phase 4. The Uttar Pradesh government also allowed resumption of all industrial activities in non-containment zones in the state in the 4th phase of the coronavirus lockdown till May 31st. All vegetable markets were allowed to open from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. only. Shop owners and staff will have to wear masks and arrange sanitizers for customers. The markets were also open in Patna, Ranchi and Chandigarh. Bureau Report, DD India.
And as the restrictions and lockdown prompted by the spread of COVID-19 ease, it is inevitable to get infected from public places. Dr. Naresh Gupta, the medical consultant in MAMC, underlined taking precautions and complying with social distancing norms is the only way to avert the spread of the virus. Take a look.
It's very difficult to avoid a crowd if you go to a marketplace. So the onus on the person becomes greater. The moment he comes out, goes to an office, goes to a market, buys a vegetable, he can expect to see many more like him in that area. And that is why the risk is bigger. It's not that everybody should shut down and stay at home all the way. You want to come out. Parks also have been opened for some kind of, if somebody wants to take a walk. But then be careful, maintain the distancing. Very important, 2 gaj.
All right, so those were the words of caution coming in from the doctors. Again, take precautions to keep yourself and your family safe. With that, we'll end this bulletin here. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.